going on, Jerome's? A beautiful Monday, birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. He sees you when you're pooping. That's right. So, very happy to spend another week with y'all. It's good times, right? And even though it's unfortunate that the Vikings will not be playing on Sunday, just sort of is what it is, right? And I really do not care who wins the Super Bowl as long as the Eagles lose. That's all I want. Like, I understand that people are sick of the Chiefs and all of the rumors, innuendo, referees, all that stuff. I do not care. That's how much I dislike the Eagles. That's how much. Like, honestly, if the Eagles were playing ISIS, no, maybe that's a little bit too far. I guess just hope for the tie. Anyways, but the Pro Bowl went down on Sunday. Slinging Sammy Darnold. So we knew this would happen. Slinging Sammy Darnold off perhaps two of his worst games of his career. Obviously, the two worst of his Vikings career. He was very accurate in the skills competition, and in the flag football game, he threw a couple of interceptions. He did throw a touchdown, Justin Jefferson, which is nice. I was looking for the box score of the Pro Bowl. That's a stupid task. Yeah, but Darnold, hey, this is something that's pretty awesome. And Darnold, first Pro Bowl, maybe only Pro Bowl? Don't know. But Darnold did have a fantastic year. I do have to give him credit there. And all of this ish that Vikings fans are talking about Darnold, myself included, maybe a little bit too, it's going to be so funny if he returns next year for like $25 million. They just say, I heard you were talking poop. But I don't know. But Darnold having that Pro Bowl experience, everything's good. Also, moments like this are great too. Andrew Van Ginkel, also making his first Pro Bowl. You got the AVG kids tossing the ball around. I think in this clip, one of the kids pushed the other one over. It happens. But, the Van Ginkels seem like an awesome family, and it's really cool that these guys get these experiences together and as a reward for a fantastic individual season. But hopefully we're playing in a different bowl next year, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Also, Byron Murphy Jr. had a pick six off of Drake May, why was Drake May in the Pro Bowl? I don't know. But Murph was named defensive MVP, defensive player of the game. Justin freaking Jefferson got to hit the gritty. Another touchdown for Slinging Sam Darnold is great. And Murph, first Pro Bowl, pick six, NFC win, defensive MVP. Have a day. Byron Murphy Jr. Also, have a day in re-signing with the Vikings, preferably for around $15 million per year. It probably will be more, but I want Murph back because I know like all the shiny objects and toys out there. You look at DJ Reed, you look at Travarius Ward, etc. Murph is good here in the Flores defense. You know that works, right? So may as well dance with the one that brought you, or I don't know, some sort of cliche. But of course, all of the jokes. Hey, Jared Goof and the Lions finally raising a trophy. We don't need to mention who was cropped out of the photo. I mean, the jokes write themselves, right? Like a Vikings and the Lions finally lift a trophy. It's just great. It's glorious. Yeah. Also, another great moment. So I know that we all poo-poo the Pro Bowl, but it is a really awesome experience for the fans, especially the kids who look up to these players as idols, and it's a lot more casual situation. Players aren't amped up; they're just out there getting ready to play a flag football game, and this is a great moment. Kid asks, "Are you Justin Jefferson?" He's like, "Yeah," and then a bunch of kids freak out. It's kind of awesome, right? And you gotta love Justin Jefferson, right? I feel like he definitely appeals to like the younger fan base because like my kids will do the gritty at a moment's notice. Like my daughter will stop the microwave 1 second before it dings for her ramen, and then she'll hit the gritty because that's what kids do nowadays. Where I feel like Jefferson, he's fun, he's approachable, he's extremely talented, and he's really relatable, just the way that he plays the game, right? So I love Justin Jefferson. Everyone does. And hopefully Jefferson will have a couple of Jerome Bardy's couple rings to show for it at the end of the day whilst doing the gritty. Also, at the end of the day, when Jefferson gets a statue in front of U.S. Bank Stadium, it has to be him hitting the gritty, right? That's got to be good. Yeah. Or him with the Buffalo Bills catch, except that looks too much like the Jordan statue. I don't know. Something I do know. The Vikings, beyond potentially bringing back Byron Murphy Jr., which would be great, need to find some cornerback depth. Now, this cornerback draft class is pretty aight, and the Vikings are pretty short of draft picks with a 1, 3, and 2/5. But Vikes fan page, what do you think of this proposed trade made by Bleacher Report? Vikings received Denzel Ward and a 2025 6, and the Browns received the Vikings 2025 first, number 24 overall. No. Denzel Ward is a stud. Don't get me wrong, right? But a little bit older, large contract, can't seem to stay healthy. Plus, his next concussion might be his last in the league, right? At a certain point, you have to worry about quality of life when it comes to injuries, especially brain injuries with these players, and he just simply cannot stay healthy, right? So it seems to be the antithesis of what the Vikings have been looking for, and this isn't a cheap veteran situation. This is giving up your first, right? And let's say the Vikings suture up the lines, O-line and D-line in free agency. I mean, first round pick, you can do what the hell you want, right? And maybe your BPA is a cornerback. Maybe it's Ron Revell from East Carolina. Maybe it's Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame, who's a bad dude if his hip checks out. So, no. I mean, a couple years ago, like, this would have been a conversation, but I feel like Ward, age, attrition, injuries, at this point, nah. Speaking of injuries, so Christian Darrisaw is coming back from an ACL and MCL. Now, the Vikings, notoriously, very take things very slow with players coming back from significant injuries. And you look at TJ Hawkinson, where he tore his Achilles thanks to Dirty Kirby Joseph very late in the 2023 season, didn't return until about halfway through 2024. And there is some concern with Darrisaw, who had his significant knee injury at the end of October. I believe it was October 24th. Yeah, that he may not be ready for the start of the regular season. Maybe a pup list situation, right? So I know they're going to do right by Darrisaw. They're not going to rush him back onto the field, right? And he should and could make a full recovery. And when Darrisaw's on, he's on. And knocking out all the wood. Hopefully, he has some better injury luck throughout his career. He got the massive contract, and he's a massive player. Like, he's one of the best pass protecting left tackles in the league. He's great in the run game as well, and he really does bring a calming influence to this offensive line with his skill set, right? But you're going to see the tea leaves with Darrisaw. If the Vikings are in pursuit for, say, like a mid-level left tackle in free agency, or bring in a veteran, maybe that's a sign that Darrisaw may not be ready to go to start the season. And on the roster, you do have Walter Rouse, last year's 6th-round pick out of Oklahoma/Stanford. So they potentially could move him inside to guard, or could be a situation where they are comfortable enough with Rouse at left tackle for a couple of games until Darrisaw gets back, and then they kick Rouse inside. I don't know. No. But if the Vikings make swing tackle a priority in free agency, then that could be pointing towards Darrisaw may not be ready to start 2025, which kind of sucks. Something that would be awesome. So Matthew Slater, who was one of the greatest special teamers of all time, should be in the Hall of Fame as a special teamer. A longtime New England Patriot. He was drafted in the same draft class as Kevin O'Connell in 2008. O'Connell was a 3rd-round pick. Slater was a 5th-rounder. But he's been recently let go from the Patriots coaching staff. Carlos Lopez. Matthew Slater's role of special assistant to the head coach will not carry over to the new Patriots regime, per Mike Reese. The New England great spent his first season post-retirement helping players in all aspects of life, according to Drake May. Much love, Slate. I want him as a Viking. I do. Hey, if Matthew Slater wants to continue his ascent up the coaching ranks, or just wants to be involved, bring him to Minnesota. And Kevin O'Connell's talked about Matthew Slater ad nauseum when bring up special teams like all-time great ones. He's even made a case for Slater to make the Hall of Fame. And hey, Viking special teams could definitely use a little bit of help, right? And Coach Hat, I love and respect, but special teams has to get better. And bring in a guy like Matthew Slater, who is a pro's pro, is one of the greatest special teamers of all time, and is just a great leader. Like Belichick, Brady have all raved about Slater. Robert Kraft has talked very highly about Slater as well. So bringing in someone, and Kevin O'Connell loves maxing out the number of coaches on the staff. So do it. Do it. Lastly, so unfortunate that football is over, especially for the Vikings. But now, catching up on TV, American Primeval is a 6 8-part miniseries out on Netflix right now, a limited series rather, and it's a great show. I love Taylor Kitchen, and there's a lot of great cameos in this show, notably Jim Murph. I was not ready for it because it's within like the first 2 minutes of the show. Just randomly, Jim Murph is calling out, "Stop thief." Now, I have no idea why, because Irsay doesn't really moonlight as an actor, although he's been on Parks and Rec because that was set in Indiana. But I don't know. Like, did Jim Irsay help finance the show, or what's going on? Or is Peter Berg, the director, like, is he a Colts fan? I don't know, man. But American Primeval is fantastic. If you're a Peter Berg fan, you're gonna love this show. And I don't know, like, it's gritty, it's raw, it's very graphic at times, but it's pretty damn awesome. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. Highly recommend it. Oh, also recommend Shrinking on Apple TV. It's got Jason Segel. It's got Harrison Ford. It's a really good show, except no one knows it exists because Apple TV is so bad at marketing. Like, if you get Apple TV, there's probably like a half dozen shows that are really, really good. You know, Ted Lasso, obviously, The Wife and I Love for All Mankind. We haven't watched Severance, but everyone seems to rave about that. There are so many really good shows on Apple TV, but no one knows that they exist because Apple sucks at marketing. But as long as they keep it. Presumed Innocent, that was great too. Come on, man. Anyways, that is it. Vikings news dump on this beautiful, wonderful Monday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.